The scene at the border. Dramatic pictures of the chaos in Tijuana, Mexico over the past 24 hours. Attempted to storm the U.S. border, desperate to reach U.S. soil.
President Obama turned his attention to the hot-button issue of immigration yesterday, saying the time for reform is now.
Now, they said we needed to triple the border patrol.
Because Mexico is refusing to take them back.
We will build a great wall along the southern border. And Mexico will pay for the wall.
La celebración del Día de Muertos de la Ciudad de México, que como todas y todos ustedes saben, es el primer año que se realiza en la Ciudad de México.
Why is there such tension between the American and the Mexican border? Two countries that are very dependent on each other. The border is more than just an imaginary line drawn on a map to divide these two countries. For us to better understand the reasons behind this tension, we have to go back in time. US President James Polk captured the White House in 1844 on a pledge to fulfill America's goal to stretch from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. The relationship between Mexico and USA was damaged after the United States decided to take over Texas in 1845. It was further damaged after Mexico refused an offer from America to purchase California and New Mexico for $30 million. In response to this, Polk dispatched 4,000 troops into land north of Rio Grande and south of the Nueces River, claimed by both countries. In 1843, the map of North America was very different to what we know today. Texas, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico were all Mexican territory before the war. On April 25, 1846, the Mexican cavalry attacked in the fight of the territories and left 16 American soldiers dead. This led to Americans' declaration of war against Mexico. After 2 years of war, in 1848, Mexico pushed for the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Mexico understood that the war was lost and saw America's interest in Texas and other states and agreed to sell more than 1/3 of its territory for $15 million. The assumption of certain damage claims, the United States purchased more than 500,000 square miles that would encompass almost all of the future states of California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah, as well as portions of present-day Colorado, Wyoming, Oklahoma, and Kansas. The border between Mexico and the United States is 3,145 kilometers long, making it one of the longest and most significant borders in the world. This border separates two countries that are very dependent on each other. The United States buys more goods from Mexico than any other country, and Mexico does the same from the United States. On top of that, there are around 37 million people in the United States that have Mexican ancestors. Both Mexico and the United States are dependent on the function of the border. The regulation of the border can be seen as a sign of the status of the relationship between the two countries. The Mexican and US border has 50 locations where you can legally cross. A number of the smaller crossing points only require a photo ID. However, the larger border control areas require more. The largest border control area is San Isidro Port between San Diego and Tijuana, where 11 million pedestrians and 26 million cars cross annually. This makes it the busiest crossing point in the world. Despite there being a number of legal entry points to the United States, due to visa issues, over 1 million people try to illegally cross the border annually, with an estimated success rate of 15 to 30%. However, many people see this risk as worth taking. For us to understand the reason why they still risk their lives to cross the border, we have to understand the differences between the two countries. countries have huge economic disparity. The average annual income in the United States is around $65,000, whereas in Mexico it is $9,500. The United States has better education, social mobility, and infrastructure. The economic prowess of the United States is the main reason why many people choose to migrate to the United States. You may be wondering why these people don't just migrate legally into the United States. Well, because many of them can't. The United States does not grant visas or citizenships to many Mexican people. The visa criteria set by the United States government is very stringent, and it is only possible for a small number of Mexicans to legitimately apply for visa status. For this reason, over 1 million Mexicans take the more risky option and end up trying to cross the border illegally. The US has tried to build a physical barrier to stop this problem. However, the problem is not physical, the problem is more complex than that. The best way to find a solution is to make it easier to immigrate to the United States. If we look at the border between Canada and the United States, immigration is almost no problem at all. There is almost no illegal migration because of the safe and legal way made available. However, Mexico and the US have a greater economic disparity, and therefore the United States is less willing to grant access to the Mexican citizens. In conclusion, the problem is more than immigration. It has to do with social factors and the difference in social problems. If we want to solve it and make a difference, we need better social systems and a better immigration system that helps as many people as possible, and not just the people that are fortunate enough. This issue has been around for centuries, and many US presidents have tried to resolve it without any success. The solution to this problem is not one that can happen overnight. To be able to have a better functioning border, we need to look back in time and learn from our mistakes and figure out the best course of action for the future.